Welcome back, YouTube, to another episode of Beeple Reactions. What's that noise? Anyways, why am I wearing a construction helmet today? I really don't know. I just felt like it. But today, we're reacting to our first Simpsons image. Now, before we get into that, we have to shout out Beeple. Mr. Beeple is the artist behind the most expensive NFT to have ever been sold in the history of the world. At 69 million, I'm gonna put it right here. It consists of 5,000 images combined to make one supreme image, and each image has its own story and its own cool symbolism and whatever. And here on this channel, Thrown Out Reactions, we go from image to image, analyze it, see what we can interpret, see what it's saying. And yeah, so today's episode has something to do with The Simpsons. Today's episode is called HOMELANDER. HOMELANDER. So, as you know, Beeple, within a lot of his images, he has popular characters from, television and media. You see Mickey Mouse a lot. I'm not sure if Simpsons appears quite a lot, but as you can see, he's got The Simpsons. You see Yoda from Star Wars. You see a lot of Star Wars characters. You see Mickey Mouse. He shows Mickey Mouse quite a lot. He shows Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story. But in this image right here, he's showing Simpsons. You've got Homer and you've got Bart. If you've never seen the TV show Simpsons, you've probably been living under a rock. It's one of the most famous TV shows in American history. And it's still running to this day. As far as I'm aware, they're still making new episodes even to this day. And yeah, so you've got Homer Simpson. He's in a superhero outfit. His cape is the American flag. He has a golden belt, and there is a spider on his golden belt. And his son is dressed how he's normally dressed within the cartoon and the TV show. And his son appears to be running away from him. Now Homer has got laser eyes. He's got laser eyes within the image, and he is pointing his laser eyes towards his son Bart's head. And his son Bart's head is completely obliterated by these laser eyes. Now in regards to the settings, it seems to be daytime in the suburbs. They're probably in the garden. They're just in Homer's back garden. So now that we've spoken about what exactly we can see in this image, it's a fairly simple image. There's not too much going on. There's not too many characters. There's nothing too complicated. It's a fairly simple image. And of course, the way the Simpsons characters look are not how they look in the cartoons, where they are two-dimensional. Within this image, they appear to be three-dimensional. So it's a bit of a twist on how it normally looks. Okay. Now give me a second now. I just want to think about this, and I want to see what is this image trying to show. How can we interpret this image? How does it relate to people? Because as you know, every Beeple image relates to people, and every image has a deeper meaning behind it. It just might take a bit longer for you to figure it out. So I would say that this image, quite evidently, it has something to do with the relationship between father and son, more specifically modern fathers and modern sons. So forget about the characters for a second. Let's look at the characters for what they represent. Homer represents a father and Bart represents the son. Your typical American son and your typical American father, or your typical Western father and your typical Western son. Now this father is clearly very patriotic. He's got an American flag as his cape. So this is a patriotic father, and he is dressed in a Superman / Spider-Man outfit. Like, it looks like a Superman outfit because you've got the red and blue, but Spider-Man is also red and blue. So his what he's wearing is like a mixture between the Spider-Man outfit and the Superman outfit. It's like a mixture of them both. He's got the spider on the belt, and when I think of the character Superman in relation to people, I think of guys who have very big egos, you know, guys who are able to provide, and it gives them a big ego. So I think him being shown as the Superman slash Spider-Man is showing, you know, he's the father, he's the provider, and he's got that Superman ego because he's able to provide. He feels as if he's a Superman, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I'm not saying it's a good thing, but being able to be a provider, being able to provide for yourself, provide for your wife, provide for your family, it does, you know, rise up your ego. It does make you feel like you are something. And as I said, I'm not saying that's a wrong feeling to have, I'm not saying that's a right feeling. But if it's uncontrolled, if you get too excited with yourself, get too carried away, you're providing for everyone, and you let your ego go to a high place, you will develop that Superman ego. There's a deeper concept behind this character of Superman. So Homer Simpson here is shown as the typical Western father. He is the provider, he is the Superman, he is the Spider-Man. He's clearly very patriotic because he's got the American flag as his cape. He's proud of his nation, he's proud to be from his country. He wants to, make America great again, whatever. And of course he's got the spider on his belt. Spider could be referring to the World Wide Web. We call it the World Wide Web. And spiders also have to do a lot with occultism. A lot of occults use the spider as their central image. So yeah, this spider on Homer's belt could represent something to do with the internet. But let's not even open up that tab. Let's just close that tab right there. So, and then of course Bart represents your typical son, your typical American son, your typical Western son. Now the obvious thing within this image, which the artist has made obvious for us to notice, is the laser beams, the sharp laser beams cutting right through the little son's head. And I think I've pretty much figured out what it's trying to show. What it's trying to show is that when you're a kid, you just want to be free. As you can see in this image, Bart is just running. He's trying to run away from his father. When you're a kid, you just want to be free, You're not thinking about paying any bills. You're not thinking about work. You're not thinking about stress. You're not thinking about providing for people. You're just trying to be free. You're trying to run around. You're trying to enjoy yourself. You're trying to do whatever it is you want to do. Just be a kid. But as a father, as a parent looking at your kid, one day he's gonna have to grow out of that. As free as he would want to be, if he gets too lost in freedom, he's gonna end up homeless. So the father knows. The father's looking at him, and he knows you're gonna have to grow out of this age. You're gonna have to eventually stop enjoying yourself. You're gonna have to stop being so creative and so loose, and you're gonna have to get real with the real world. You're gonna have to come to some real serious realizations. You're gonna have to get a job. You're gonna have to maybe get an education or some sort of qualification. You're gonna have to start paying bills. You're gonna have to learn how to drive. You're gonna have to take care of people, and reality is gonna hit you. So I think what this image is trying to show is when a father looks at his son, he's looking at the man that he's gonna have to be. And the man that he's gonna have to be eventually, that man is gonna have to come to a lot of harsh realizations. That man is gonna have to go through some real emotions, maybe even heartbreaks. So it's about the father being able to see right through the son. As you can see, Homer's laser beams from his eyes are going straight through his son's head, leaving it absolutely obliterated. Blood is scattered. You can't even see poor Bart's eyeballs. You can't even see the guy's eyeballs. They've been obliterated. I think that's trying to show that Homer can see past Bart's childhood. A father can see past his son's childhood. And a father can see what is my son. My son's going to have to be something in the future. He's going to have to awaken out of his child state. And it is the cold reality of the world, but this is the world we live in. As I said, he's gonna have to get a job, he's gonna have to have his own family one day. So just these sharp realizations, these sharp, very real and very powerful realizations that the father has about his son, while his son is still in this youthful age and this age of enjoyment. And this age, I'm not saying you can't enjoy yourself as an adult, but you know what I mean. You know, kids, their only priority is pleasure, you know. But I think that's exactly what this image is trying to show. Your typical Western father, your Superman, your provider, your breadwinner, your patriot. And he's raising his son. His son is free, his son is running. And he knows that, hey, son, one day you're going to come to some real heavy realizations. And you might not realize it now. You might not realize now because you're a little kid. You're just enjoying yourself. You're just free. You know, pleasure's your priority. You want to just run around. You want to play with your friends. You want to do what makes you happy. But you're going to grow older and you're going to have to make sacrifices. And you're going to have to develop and, you know, start taking responsibility. And this is such a harsh realization. It can almost, you know, if you lay it on your kid too early, if a father lays it on his son too early, tries to make him mature and become responsible and become adultish from too young, it is going to feel like this image right here, where it's like the father's eyes are like laser beams shooting through the skull of his son, you know, not allowing him to enjoy himself while he is still a child. You know, there's a time and a place for everything. Me, myself, I'm not a father. I don't have any children, so I'm not the best qualified to tell you exactly what this process is like. And I'm sure if someone was a father, if you're watching this video and you are a father, you have raised a son, then please let me know your thoughts on this image. What did you pick up from this image? How can you relate to this image? What did you notice which I didn't notice? But yeah, that's all I have to say for this one. This was quite an interesting one, as every Beeple image is quite interesting. But thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you press the notification so you know next time we release a video. And till next time, thank you.